Why is CBP and ICE quote-unquote surging in Minneapolis in the first place? So in case you missed it, in late December, several major media outlets started covering a scandal in Minnesota about fraud related to government support during the early years of the COVID-19 pandemic. This was covered credulously as something that was particular or especially egregious in Minnesota's Somali American community, and I'll be honest, as soon as I started seeing headlines, something about it smelled a little off to me. So it turns out that the reason this felt off to me was because it was ginned up by a handful of far-right grifters. That includes our old friend, Christopher Rufo, who you might remember from such hits as Making DEI Toxic and Stop Teaching Critical Race Theory in Elementary Schools.
And what I've discovered is that critical race theory has become, in essence, the default ideology of the federal bureaucracy and is now being weaponized against the American people.
Rufo started writing about this on his Substack back in November, and Trump pays attention to what Rufo is paying attention to. So he started talking about it as well. Then, this right-wing YouTuber picked up the story, which was then amplified by Rufo, and then we were off to the races. Outlets like the New York Times, CBS News, and the Wall Street Journal, among others, started reporting the story completely credulously. Last week, Trump even went so far as to suggest that he wanted to, quote, send them back where they came from.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct, I don't care.
And has started talking a big game in the past 24 hours about denaturalization. Another 2,000 personnel were deployed to Minnesota around the start of this year. This narrative being guilelessly repeated by so many that this fraud was somehow especially bad amongst Somali Americans is not only blatantly racist and anti-black, it also feeds into a bigger narrative frame that the US social safety net is somehow overly generous and that we need to cut back on government largesse. This one is really playing all of the hits, and the acceleration cycle is a chilling example of how online extremists are steering the attention of the White House and increasingly the entire American public.